Albina.
And I'm Roger. And we wanted to talk to you about powerful ways to have challenging conversations in your relationship in a way that is healing rather than hurting. So this is something that we have worked on a lot, and we've gotten better at it over time. And so we thought we would share some tools on what helps us express our wants, needs, and desires to each other in a way that is empowering, and that has helped us grow over time, frankly. So the first one really is to focus, like when something is coming up, is to focus on the unfulfilled need that's being met rather than the immediate thing that's happening. If you can pause, take a deep breath and focus, like when it's usually a repeated pattern, something that comes up over and over, or a sore spot. If you look behind it, usually there's some unfulfilled need that's not being met. So that unfulfilled need could be connection. Like, I don't feel like you're connecting with me. Another one could be understanding. Like, I don't feel like you understand or aren't hearing what I'm saying. And another one could be appreciation. Like, I don't feel like I'm being appreciated. And so all those things come up for us. But what will happen on top of that is we can make an issue out of something completely different.
Do you want to talk about trash?
Yeah. So this is one that, if you've been around us, we talk about a lot. Trash, taking out the trash, is a metaphor for something much deeper. But we used to fight a lot about the trash, and we could say on the very superficial level, like, she doesn't like the trash to be there for 1 second. I mean, like, really, she's would like it to be taken out every single day.
Can you please take out the trash? And then you say,
Yeah, so that's how it happens, sort of on the surface, and then I don't do it right away, and then 6 hours later, maybe the next day, the trash still isn't taken out. But what I heard was, whenever you're ready and it's convenient, go take out the trash.
What I meant is take the trash out right now.
Yeah, and so then eventually she would get irritated and she'd start taking out the trash herself, and then I would get mad because I felt like, well, now she's sort of micromanaging me, and really, though, if we peeled back the layers about the trash, I mean, you used to say what it meant to you.
I mean, ultimately, if I were to focus on, my desired outcome is, on the surface, it seems as though I want him to take the trash out right away. But if I were to dig a little bit deeper, to me, it was all about support and appreciation, right? Like, can you take the trash out? And that somehow means that you're supporting me and you're appreciating everything that I do.
Yeah. And then on my end, right, it's kind of like, well, if I have to do it right this second, then somehow I'm getting stripped of my freedom and agency, right? And I'm being put in a box and told what to do, which I hate, So, really the underlying need for me is like autonomy and freedom and feeling like I have a choice. And so when we're able to, like, sort of back away from what it is with the trash, I of course want her to feel supported,
and of course I want you to feel free and like you're making your own choices. I don't want to control you or put you in a box.
That's good, because it's not going to happen. But a question that in these kind of circumstances you can ask yourself is, what is it that I really want here? What is it that I really want? I mean, I want the trash out, damn it. But deeper than that, like, what she wants is support, to feel supported. And then what's the unfulfilled need that's not being met, right? And so when you get deeper into that, it's like, this will show me. And now, of course, when she says, when she explained it that way, like, I really just want to feel supported, and that helps me feel supported. Now when she says, hey, honey, can you take out the trash? I'm like, just jump up and do it. And but by choice, because I want her to feel supported. And it's such a simple, little, easy thing, and it didn't have to be a battleground. It really wasn't worth fighting about, especially when I knew what was going on underneath.
Yeah, and over time, I also learned to back off. You know, like certain things, they don't have to be done right away. You know, it's just like this is a beautiful dance that you kind of learn to dance when you've been married for 15 plus years. And we're sharing with you these little secrets so that, you know, you don't have to wait 15 years and learn from trial and error. You can just learn from somebody who had lots of fights about trash.
Yeah. Well, and this is all really about in the realm of conscious communication. Like, how would you want to speak to each other if you were making conscious choices? And, you know, we don't always do that, but when we do, we have a lot more success. So that leads me to the second secret or tool, and that is recognizing when the stakes are high. And when the stakes are high, it's usually you can feel it in your body first. You'll feel your heart will clench up, or your gut will, something will happen, or your hair will stand on end. And right then is a good sign that, like, I need to pause, because that's when something's going to be said that I didn't want to say and that is very hurtful. So to recognize when the stakes are high so that you can put in the tools. And then when the stakes are high, that's the time, not the time to have the conversation, but it's really the time to wait. If you need to walk away, pause, put it on the pause button so you can calm down, go back to the first one and say, what is it that I really want here? Right? And then the next step is when you're ready and you're in a space for listening, not talking, but when you're in a space for listening, and you have to ask yourself, honestly, am I in a space for listening right now? Only then I would say that's when you can sit down and address the issue. And really what I think about when I say address the issue, I mean, you put the issue in the middle and you look at it, which is different than you're batting it back and forth like a tennis ball, right? And so, or a hot potato, you're like, you did it, right? So that takes a bit of evolved thinking, but sometimes there could be the explosion first and then you come back and like, can we try that again? Because we've had to do that too, right? Like, hold on, that's not how I wanted that to go. Can we talk about it? When we get a little better, it's like before that we say the regrettable things and then we say, hold on. We've gotten better at knowing like when's the right time to have this kind of conversation. And then it's more like, can we just put it in the middle without having an expectation of how it's going to go? Because that's a good space. That's really about listening. Do you want to add anything to that?
No, it's all correct.
Well, and everybody gets to state their experience of it. Everybody gets to have their, both of you get to have your experience, and that experience is valid. Right?
Yeah, well, for example, like earlier today, I knew that if I were going to say anything, it wasn't going to be a good thing. So I just kept my mouth shut, right? So sometimes it goes like this. I just literally don't say anything until I know that I'm calm and I'm in a place to have a conversation instead of just blowing up.
And that doesn't mean you stuff it down and lump it and go on. It means that you are choosing consciously when to have this conversation from a space of your bigness, your capacity to make a space for listening, and it moves away from right and wrong.
That's right.
Which leads me to our next tool here, and that is to express it really from your experience rather than this is what happened or this is what you did and this is what this is what I did and this is so just eliminating the need to have a right person or a wrong person is a good start. But if you speak and express your experience, like my experience of this was X, that doesn't make them wrong, right? It just says this is how I experienced it. I experienced it as you were angry at me and you blew up and I felt this way. So there's a way in conscious communication you can do that. And then and it's just like this. It's like, so when we have a fight about the trash and there's anger, the story I tell myself is that I'm being micromanaged and that I don't have any control over myself, and that I have to stop what I'm doing and serve your needs. That's the story I tell myself. I don't know if that's what you're thinking, but that's how it lands on me. And what's your experience? And then she gets to share, this is not always the fun part, she gets to share her experience, which might be what?
The story that I tell myself.
Well, when you don't take out
When
the
you
trash.
don't take the trash out right away, the story that I tell myself is that you don't respect what I do and you don't want to help out and I have to do everything on my own.
Right, which ultimately isn't actually true, but and then that's a good question is, to ask, like, well, what can I do to make you feel supported and still feel like I have autonomy? What would that look like? And so a good question, once you've kind of got the issue out there, well, what would it look like to fulfill each other's needs without, without making anybody right or wrong? And so that puts you in inquiry. Well, what would that look like? And so, because we can't read each other's minds, so it's very important. It's part of that is to express, like, well, this is a need that I have, and and I don't know what it looks like, but I know that when you take the trash out, it helps. It starts to make me feel supported. That's obviously, if that's the only thing I did, that probably wouldn't be enough.
Yeah, it's like I don't know about you ladies, but looking back, I can say that I would just get mad. And at some point, I wouldn't even know what he would have to do in order to satisfy, like in order for me to calm down and be happy again. And if I myself don't know what would satisfy my needs, then how can he even make me happy?
Yeah.
Right? If I don't know myself what's going to make me happy. So that pausing and taking a deep breath in the middle of it and focusing on what is it that you want, what is it that you truly want, I think is an important question to ask yourself.
Yeah. And we have a lot more tools to share, but we just wanted to share a few of those. And we have other videos and we have courses that we're bringing to the light of day soon. So if that's appealing to you, we would love to share with you and have you share with us. So thank you for your time, and I hope this was helpful.
Bye.
Bye.